Theodore Helverveer, aka Big Teddy, back in the building. Bless up. You know what it is. First off, I want to kick this off by saying More Than Just Surviving Life is brought to you by the HOH Collective. If you like what we're doing, if you enjoy it, if you love it, if you take good things from it, if you've had good experiences and you believe in the show and you want to help us keep going, head over to Patreon. You can find the Patreon under Theodore Helverveer. If you don't know how to spell the name, it's in the show titles. Check us out on Patreon. We would love to get your feedback in the form of sponsorship. That would be super dope. Recommend it to your page, to your friends. If you enjoy the podcast, also if you're listening, if it's a part of your day, tweet us, hashtag Tripod, More Than Just Surviving Life, and let people know what you're listening to. All of it is much appreciated, whether it's monetary, tweets, IG, anything. The love is felt. It's appreciated. Let me jump in. I'm going to tell you in all seriousness, I'm trying very hard to not be super hood with today's episode. And that's because it's very near and dear to my heart. And it's hard for me to have this conversation and not do it from a hood perspective. But we're going to be talking a lot of real shit today. And that's very serious. So today's episode is Live Like an OG. Let that sink in. Live like an OG, okay? Now, these are some very serious words, and those apply to all aspects of life and all walks of life, no matter what you come from. So let's talk about what it means to live like an OG. So, one of my favorite lines from the movie Kingdom of Heaven is, "They shall know your quality before ever they meet you, my friend." They shall know your quality before ever they meet you. I fully believe in those words. And that's why when I talk to you guys, I talk to you about living your truth, embodying your truth. Okay? Because when you believe in the things you say and you speak on, people hear it. They can tell. They know the difference. I believe very sincerely. If you're still with me at this point, if you're still listening to these episodes, you know that when I speak to you, I believe in the things that I say. I speak to my heart because I'm passionate about them, because they matter, because I believe these things need to be in the world, right? Another reason why I do what I do, something that I love sincerely, is learning from people I respect. I don't care if you're older than me, younger than me, where you come from, what you've done. If I respect you and I feel like you have something to teach me, I'm listening. I'm trying to learn from your experiences. And as a person that loves to do that, I love to share that, right? And so a lot of what inspired me for this episode is I was listening to Ice-T speak recently. And that's not something that I really ever think about having a conversation topic about. I mean, because I've had respect for him for years. But one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to is Drink Champs. And I listened to this man speak in his episode. So much knowledge, so much wisdom, so much game. You know, and the thing that was beautiful about it is he put into words things that I've always felt, things that I've always lived. And it made me realize this is why I do this. This is why I'm like this. This is what, because I grew up around so much of that mindset and so much of that energy, that those OGs, the people worthy of respect, you know what I mean? And something he said that really resonated with me, that I haven't heard anyone say in years, which is definitely some old head shit. He said, "I stand on my word." Okay, and let me give you the context that this was said and that this came about. So Nori, who is the main host of Drink Champs, was talking about working with Ice-T. And he said he asked Ice-T to do something with him, and he told him he had to be there at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. He said Ice-T was there at 4 a.m. on the dot, no complaints. And Ice's response was, "I have respect for you and what you do, and I stand on my word. So if I tell you I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. I stand on my word. My name means everything to me." Okay? So if I say I'm going to do something, if I'm going to get something done, if I tell you I'm going to be somewhere at a certain time, it gets done. I'm going to be there. And the only reason that doesn't happen is for situations completely outside of my control. And it's so funny because people think sometimes that I'm a control freak, and they think that for no reason, but it's never for no reason. When you put things into other people's hands, you can't always be sure if they're going to happen. But my name, my word, that being a Helvavir, people being able to trust and say that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, means everything to me. And so if I'm in control of the situation, I can make sure those things happen. If I'm in control of the situation and I told you I was going to be there at 4 a.m., I'm going to be there at 3:58 because I hate to be late. Because that reflects on me. Someone put it into words again once. It's things that I live, and I hear people putting the words, and I'm like, oh, that's it. I heard someone say, the reason I'm not late is because it shows a disrespect for your time. If I made an agreement with you to be somewhere and I'm not there when I said I was going to be there, then to me and to you, that says that I don't respect or care about your time. Bang! That hit me so hard. And that was what I had been living, put into words. I stand on my word. This is what living like an OG means, right? And it's about respect. Respect for others, respect for yourself, respect my name. Again, I'm telling you sincerely, I say that Helvavir with pride. It is the most important aspect of my life for me. I tell people being a Helvavir for me, it comes before being any race, creed, religion, sex, nationality. It is everything to me. And so when I do a job, whether I'm freelancing or I'm working on a project or I'm putting something out or I'm delivering something, I don't do that as Theodore. I don't do that as Big Teddy. I do that as a Helvavir because it's bigger than me. It will last longer than me. And when people think of me, when they think of my name, I want them to associate it with quality, with reliability, with consistency, with strength. That is what it means to live like an OG. You stand on your word. And I can tell you the exact moment that I knew I was living my life right and that I was becoming the person that I wanted to be, right? My older sister is someone I have idolized for years, and she's very important to me, and what she thinks holds a lot of weight. And I remember she and I were sitting down one time just having drinks and having casual conversation, talking life and talking real shit. And this is something that I really value from her. And I remember she told me, there are only 2 men in my life that I take at their word when they tell me they're going to do something. And she said, that's you and such and such. And I didn't know the other person, but the other person didn't matter. Okay? For my sister, and at the time I was in my very early 20s, right? And my sister was in her 30s. And so for my sister, who's older than me, who's had more experience, who's been around more people, who knows more people, to who's wiser, and just to tell me that of all the men in her life, I am one of the 2 people she takes at their word, that was better than gold to me. That was one of the greatest moments of my life, because that is what I was striving and what I strive to be every day, to give people that level of faith and confidence and belief in me and who I am and what I do, so that when I speak to them, when I tell them something, they never have to think twice. Theodore said this is gonna get done, it's done. And that was another instance. I'm telling you, it was very early in my professional career at my first corporate job, and I was working IT at the time, right? And one of the administrators, one of the administrative assistants that I was friendly with, needed a job done. She needed a CD burned for an attorney. And as IT, that was part of my duties. And at this point in time, this is when discs still fail and you get errors and things like that. And so I burned the files for her and I bring it up to her and she said, "Did you check it?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Then how do you know it works?" And I said, "Because I did it." And she said, "Good enough for me." Bruh, that may not seem like a big thing. That means the world to me, because in the society we live in the day and age we live in, people can't really traffic on their word. People can say anything. People say many things. That doesn't always mean there's weight behind it. One of the things that I have strived for my entire adult life, when I desired and understood who I wanted to be, was for my words and actions to match. You do not understand the kind of stability that making sure those two things happen brings to your life. And that's what it was all about for me, because no one likes instability. No one likes being unsure. No one likes not knowing what's coming next. And I understood that if I wanted stability in my life, then I had to provide stability. I had to be the rock. I had to be the base of the pillar. And we've talked about this before a little bit when we talk about that saying that they have in the East Coast, word is bond. Word is bond. When you break that down, the origin of it is, my word is my bond. And the reason that this is such an OG concept and such an OG principle and an OG way to live is because when you come from what an OG comes from, all that stands between life and death for you in a lot of situations is your word. People have to know what you are about. Your word can take you farther than any currency in the world. Something that we talk about a lot of times, right? When we talk about getting places or growing farther in life is not always what you know, it's who you know, okay? Who you know and what they know about you can help you or it can hurt you. This is why references matter so much when you're applying to a college, when you're trying to get a job. Because if no one is willing to vouch for you and the quality of who you are and what you provide to others, then no one wants to work with you. No one wants to employ you. This is why when you're in school and when you're starting your first job, they really try and make you understand the importance of being on time, of being a good member of the community. Like, these things matter. This shit matters. And this is what living like an OG is about. Making sure the quality of your name and who you choose to be precedes you in all things. And so everything that I do, everything that I pour myself into, I give 150%. Because I stand on my word. And this is what it's all about. This is what we're talking. And so what you have to do is you have to think about, and a lot of people don't think about it like that. A lot of people don't take it that serious. But I come from a place, I've built myself from a place where for me, everything is life or death. I'm telling you, like that. And this is why I love OGs, and this is why I listen to them talk. Not just Ice-T, 50 Cent a lot as well. I really have a lot of respect for 50 for what he's done as a businessman and where he's come from in that place. This is why I rock with Gary Vee, because these are people that have built themselves for nothing. And their social media buzz and their popularity and their attention, that's not just because they're rich and famous, is how they got there. That magnetic energy, that charisma that draws people to them is what skyrocketed them to where they got. That mindset that 50 came out when he first popped, get rich or die trying, What? Still inside me to this day. Because for me, everything is life or death. There is no, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, I'll just do this. No, I'm telling you, literally, the way I think of everything in my mind, it's do this or die. Which is why failure is not even failure for me. Failure is a learning experience. Because the only way for me to truly fail is to give up. Is to stop trying. Is to stop working at it. Is to stop moving forward. Failure is not an option. Giving up is not an option. Okay? Warren G and Mac 10. Mac 10, another gangster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is such an OG track. I want it all. Money, cash, socks, and drawers. And I'm balling every time I stop to talk to y'all. You know what I mean? Something that Mac 10 says in that track is, you're gonna come up off my royalty check. Cause my babies don't know nothing about not having daddy's money and not getting respect. When you have a family to feed and things like that, even before you reach that point, and it's important, but when you have other people that rely on you, that you're responsible for, you can't just say, didn't work out this time. That doesn't cut it. And this is the importance of building quality relationships. Because when you have those bonds, when you have that reputation, when people speak of you with respect and they know of the caliber of individual that you are, there's always an out. You can come to someone and say, hey, this is not right. I need this for a little bit. If you can trust me with this, I'll come back on it. Yo, I'm telling you, we're keeping it gangster this episode. Let's talk about Biggie, the 10 crack commandments. Okay, and that sounds real raw, because we talk about a lot of positive, strong, beautiful stuff. So this sounds like left field, but it's not, right? It's the principle of the conversation that we're talking about. And the 10 crack commandments, Biggie says, stay away for consignment. It's strictly for linemen. What consignment means in a business aspect, okay, it's credit, but it's life or death credit. This is saying, I don't have money to pay for the goods that you're going to give me. But if you give me the goods on the quality and trust of my word that I will come back to you with the full money that I owe you for these goods, then I can assure you that will happen. And that's what consignment means. And when that happens, your word gets stronger. The quality of it gets stronger. People's understanding of who you are and what you deliver gets stronger. They understand that you're by any means necessary. Because when you speak about consignment in the instant that he talked about it, it's life or death. And that's what living like an OG means. It's good to enjoy the little things and step back and not take everything seriously. But when you're living like an OG, everything that applies to your word for you, in your mind, in your heart, has to be life or death. I live with the quality that I live on and with for a reason. There is a reason that the people I love and trust believe in me. There is a reason that my peers have respect for me. There is a reason that I can move the way I do, because I stand on my word. I tell people all the time in every aspect of life, my references are immaculate. Okay? I don't care if we're talking about private, personal, or professional. I stand on my word. So, something you haven't heard in a long time on that note is, if you're not screaming free Pimp C, what is you saying? What I want you to think about, okay, is, are you standing on your word? Is your word your bond? Are you living like an OG? Do you provide stability that you're looking for? And if not, what are we even doing? Bruh, I'm so happy that we did this. I'm so happy that you keep coming back. I told you, we're not giving up. We're not stopping. We're not quitting. This is us all day, every day. And we will continue to do this together. So keep bringing it back and we will keep moving forward. Bless up, family.